Welcome back. WeArEuS, and this is Animus Revenant. Now, we are starting here rather than where we left off last episode because there are a couple of things we need to take care of. First off, we need to let this woman know that her sister is in fact alive, but for some strange reason, not going to leave this, well, let's just call it what it is, this cursed garrison for whatever reason. Sweet mercy of the absolutes, and blessed be Cadmus. My sweet sister lives. She is stronger than I'll ever be. Perhaps stronger than you. I don't think that word means what you think it means then. And so we give her the witch doll? But why did you leave her? Go back. Go back, go back. Fetch her here. The garrison is lost, you fool. No, why did you leave her? Why wouldn't she come? I can't just leave her behind. I will stay and wait for her, while I wait to show the way for others seeking refuge. If you can, you may want to search for help beyond this garrison in the citadel of Cadmus. Now, that's one of the things I wanted to take care of. I was hoping to get something out of it, but I guess you could say we got information. Anyway, I did say that last episode I would be I would be showing off the mace that we made. So, let's go ahead and do that. I would also like to talk about some of the other weapons we got. So, I really don't want to get rid of the healing over time from this weapon. So would you guys be amenable to exhibiting this weapon? Exhibitioning. That's the word. So would you guys be amenable to an exhibition of the mace while I maintain the hammer of the unremembered, so I'd be able to, stay alive without spending the more potent healing? And of course, that means it'll take a little longer to show off the rest of these weapons and how they work and what I've learned over the past... how long was it since we last recorded? We didn't record it Friday, so we would have played it Thursday. So the 4 days since we last recorded that episode. And I've learned quite a bit. Let me make sure I've still got... Yeah, he's just sharpening his... I played this game yesterday, so... And quite a bit, as you may be able to tell from the amount of memory that we have in the upper right-hand corner. Okay, I think I'm alright. I will say, the mace is easily my favorite of the new weapons that I've made. It is just, finger and lip licking good versus crowds. I mean, it doesn't do much for your poise, but that's a separate stat anyway. And oh, right. It also allows you to not do a fat roll. Or, fat dash, as it were. Like what happens with this weapon, where you just dash instead. That is both huge and a detriment if you intend to use the dash or evade attack like this. Which has just a massive windup. It's frankly... It's not really efficient to rely on it unless you need it. But I have worked it into combos and it's turned out to be pretty effective. As you might be able to tell. Gotta get out of there. Now, as you saw there, in that split sec... Oh, the other... Yeah. I forgot he becomes aware of you regardless of anything if you attack the other guy, or the other guy notices you. As I was saying, you may have noticed, though, that the attack sequence cannot be interrupted. This one, you can't do anything. You can just barely shorten the recovery time by holding your guard button. I've had to make use of that with the axe weapon, the axe and shield combination that you saw me with just before we switched. Oh, another interesting thing I learned. Rather than take both of these guys on, if you aren't confident in the way you manage a 2v1, well, it's probably not the... There we go. So, you can attack him through the wall. You can attack him through the wall. And while he can attack you as well, well, you're human, so you at least have the intellect to know how to avoid taking needless damage. Now, this weapon hits really hard. Well, not as hard as the Great Axe, but, I mean, come on, what does? But, it hits a number of times with its combo, as you've seen. And as I've been saying, it clears junk mobs pretty nicely. However, you're going to see, we're going to exhibition how well it does versus bosses. Or mini-bosses, let's say. I really do like this weapon. Now, before we do get into the fight with this guy, I do want to say, I've had a number of fights with him, and I haven't died yet. Now, I've got 7,000 memory, so that's reason enough to be careful. But I've had a number of fights with this guy, and I've enjoyed them over the past few days. I've learned his, well, pattern, one could say. Now, none of that really matters. What I want to talk about is the fact that he drops upgrade shards, which you need to push weapons to refinement 6. But aside from the first two that he dropped when we came through here last episode, he hasn't actually dropped anymore. I know this because I've been trying to upgrade a weapon to refinement 6, but I can't because I only have 2 out of 7 shards necessary. And he won't drop anymore. Instead, he's been dropping 500 memory, which, don't get me wrong, that's nice. But it's also not what I need right now. And I have no idea if, 1, he even will drop any more upgrade shards, or 2, how I can make him drop them. Now you see, I blocked that one. I need to get out of there. Are you erect yet? Again, he didn't drop the upgrade shard. He only gave me 500 memory. So I don't know if there's some mechanic involved that's preventing him from dropping it any more than 2, but it's kind of a shame because I've killed him so many times and he doesn't drop them. I'm a little sad. I like the guy. I like fighting him. I'm not sure what weapon we'll be doing an exhibition for next. God, she wasn't... The woman that died right here, she wasn't even that close to me. I don't understand how she actually got hit. I'm not going to question it. I'm just going to nod my head and appreciate the results. And I missed the freaking parry. Also, a good thing to note is that when you miss the initial attack, well, this first part of the combo, that sweep, that sweeping strike will lock back onto the enemy. So unlike with the heavy axe, if you miss, the attack just goes wherever it goes. The mace will course correct. And here we have the X. That's the backstab. That's the parry. I will note that it appears that once you actually begin the animation for this, you're locked into it until it completes. So I'm not sure if you can actually be knocked out of it with anything but a heavy attack. So can you now see why I value the healing over time? My favorite weapon. It's not incredible. That's kind of annoying. It's not incredible. It's just good. Better heal up again. It's not off cooldown yet. There it is. Now, as you saw there, I went for the archer first. That's the typical logic you should follow in any game in which there is a long-range enemy teamed up with closer or melee enemies. You always go for the shooter first. In this particular case, you really do need to go for that guy first, because if you're distracted by the other two guys, you'll get hit. You'll end up getting hit by the archer's arrow. It'll knock you down and put you in a bad spot most of the time. Most of the time, you'll just end up against the wall or back this way, depending on how you engage. But I've ended up pinned in this corner by the other two melee guys, with the archer still taking pot shots at me. I've ended up in this corner over here, trapped behind the melee guys while the archer's taking pot shots at me. I died both times. I died a number of times, in fact, just to being trapped in corners. So I'd like to make a public service announcement. Avoid corners at all costs. If you get trapped in a corner, you are going to die. Even if it's only against one enemy, assume you're going to die and, well, take the appropriate steps to avoid that. Keep in mind, if you enter your... I don't think I'll need it, so we'll go ahead and make an example of it. if you need your healing, or you're trapped in the corner, they're attacking you, spam your healing. They can't interrupt. I'm not sure if they can, because I'm not dumb enough to try this in the face of every enemy, but from what I've seen, they can't actually knock you out of your healing animation once you've actually put your hand to your chest. Anytime in between you raising your hand and your hand actually touching your chest, they can and will interrupt you. So take the appropriate steps necessary to either avoid ending up trapped in a corner, or end up dying in that corner. Do whatever you have to. I won't fault you, whatever tactic you use. Because I lost 3,000 something memory to being trapped in the corner twice. Twice in a row, in fact. I would say that I was pissed about it, but I don't remember that being the case at all. It was just a matter of, well, I've got to play the game more now. Oh, there he is. I don't have to worry about the archer here. And then there's this one. From those enemies, you can get cursed orbs. I got those cursed orbs, and I created equipment that required the cursed orbs. I like that equipment. But we'll talk about that one shortly. I do want to go through here and clean this place out, since I've seen it already. They can't shoot down the steps that well, so... Wrong button. That one was on me. A bloodstone. So that's where they come from. Oh, I can go ahead and make that sword then. Yesterday when I was playing this, they were dropping cursed orbs like mad. But today, they're just dropping memory and, as you saw, a bloodstone. Let's get these last two guys cleaned, well, last three guys cleaned out, and then... then we'll go and show off the next weapon. We'll go ahead and fight backwards through this place instead, now that I'm used to that. I will say one thing I don't like is that the icons in the left, right under our health and stamina bar, you can't really, they don't decrease over time. So you're just running around ready to be knocked flat by the burst effect and ready to be stunned for free. Still, it's nothing to say. I wonder if I could have given him the charred doll that we got from the that woman's sister. Let's see. So what do we show you guys next? I think we showed off the Night Shield last episode, so we'll go with this. Of these two dual greatswords, the greatsword of the soldier is actually the better one, even though the attack of this one is technically better. Because here, I now understand what the burst damage being presented actually is. This weapon itself only deals 379 damage, but its effect, the burst, deals 215 damage to the enemy once it triggers on them. So once you've stacked the effect enough times, well, you'll see. Now, these aren't exactly my favorite weapon, but I really do like them, and I wish they were so much better than they actually are. Dang it. Frankly, that would have normally knocked me down. And as you saw there, my poise seems to be considerably higher with these two weapons. Oh, there we go. Now, my main problem with this weapon... Ooh, I got 2 bloodstones out of her. My main problem with this weapon stems from the fact that it seems to have very little impact on the enemy, as well as the fact that it doesn't deal that much damage per hit. And I don't know if it's counting the separate hits from each blade as its own attack, or if they're all just for, say, that last hit there. I don't know if both hits are counting as damage, or if it's just... damage separately for each blade involved, or if it's just considered one whole hit and is not actually adding the damage from both of them. I don't know. There's no real way for me to tell. But as you may see me doing here, doing the, well, let's just call it what it is, the dash attack. Doing that is going to be an integral part of your engagement versus any enemy. Because the windup on this attack is so long, but if you mix in this, it does basically the same damage, and of course it costs stamina. In fact, it costs the same as that first combo there, but you want to be using the dash attack during fights. You just want to. For one thing, it interrupts lesser enemies like this. And that interruption is huge. Ow. Didn't expect to get caught like that. Let's go ahead and use that. Now, I want to also show you why this is actually a really good... I couldn't do it there, but I'll go ahead and explain while I find someone to utilize it on. When you do the dash attack into an enemy and stagger them like that, they, well, the lower level enemies, the ones that aren't mini bosses, will be staggered like that. The Sentinel Knight, the guy in the large guy in the black armor, he doesn't flinch like these lesser enemies do. But with the lesser enemies, there we go. Get to show off the backstab. Nope, none of that. Now, I would like to show you guys the parry. That is really neat. Like, I want this weapon to be better than it is. Also, the combo on this has some really incredible tracking. Unexpected. Ah, he hit me anyway. Now, as I was trying to explain earlier, the stagger from the dash attack, since it only works on lesser enemies, it does have its value. It not only allows you to slow down groups by staggering them, but if you're lucky enough, you can also get behind the enemy and backstab them while they're recovering. I hit that? Really? That was super late. Also remember that will interrupt them mid-attack, as you saw there. I don't know if it does extra damage or not, and I'd really rather not find out. I missed. I need him away from... Well, I couldn't show it off. But I think you guys have the general idea. Of what I'm talking about. The weapon is good. Especially this one. I'll show you why versus the Sentinel. I couldn't block. The wind-up on this one's dash attack is just too significant. Its damage output isn't all that bad. It's just not efficient. How did he go right past me? I'm in the corner now. Do you see what I'm saying? If you end up in the corner, assume you're going to die. I was sure I was done there. But it turned out well. Well enough. I really do need to increase my stamina. Since I've got enough memory, maybe I'll go ahead and do that, sometime after this video is done. I still have other stuff that I want to spend the memory on. The other guy should be a... Oh, there isn't the other guy just yet. And you only get lesser upgrade shards from the pilgrims, so... Now, let me show you why this weapon is good versus bosses. Or if you just want to take on a single enemy. Just make sure you don't forget to manage your stamina. Now, as you saw that explosion there, that explosion staggers him for free. All you need to do is not die while it's happening. So as I said, if you're interrupted before your hand touches your chest during the animation, you will be interrupted. And now we go in. I don't know if this works on bosses because I haven't actually used it on one. But if it works on a mini-boss... Now, I would like to meet a boss before we end this video. And I assume there is one waiting for us up further ahead. But we still have, I think, one more weapon to show off. So we need to make our way down to the statue and re-equip ourselves. Clipped me with that. I blocked it, so that's why I didn't get knocked down or anything. Now, while we did get stuck in the corner earlier, we could have managed that by using our ability, which allows us to stagger enemies for free. Mistimed it. So the things I want you guys to keep in mind if you choose to make this your preferred weapon, always make sure that you're weaving in those dash attacks whenever you can. But always keep... What? What? I parried that and I didn't attack. Or counterattack. That never happened before. What the... I definitely... And the parry came back really fast after that. What the heck? So we should have two pilgrims here. Or farmers, or whatever these people are. Anyone with low poise is going to absolutely get thrashed by this weapon. The other thing I want you to keep in mind is that you have the ability to get out of a hard spot with this. If you end up in a corner, use it if you have it. Don't die for free. It's really, it's rough. Now, the last weapon I want to show is this one. Before we do, I want you guys to see what it's capable of. It grants you the ability to increase your physical damage by 50%. So, what that means for this weapon in particular is that it won't increase the, well, frankly, I don't know how the stun value here works. Stun itself, as far as I'm aware, doesn't actually do damage. But ignoring that, it increases your damage with this weapon significantly by 210. And that's before refinement. That doesn't sound like a lot, but trust me, that is significant. Now, we're up to 9,600 memory, and I would like to keep that. Do you see how fast the stun adds up on enemies? That's on everyone. Even the Sentinel, who I assume doesn't even count as a mini boss, but just a regular trash mob who happens to be a little more annoying and durable. I don't have my parry yet. And a little more durable than the average. And that attack there was me testing if I could interrupt. If I could interrupt an attack animation with my guard before. There we go. Let him come to me. Nope. With this weapon, I want you guys to keep something in mind. Using this combo, your dash into your dash attack, and then the follow-up attack, you want to use that as often as possible. The wind-up attack for this isn't very good, even though it hits twice. Of course, that'll miss, so... Oh, another thing to keep in mind that's really important is that you only have one charge of spirits, so if you need to increase your damage, you want to save that for someone that really needs the dicking. Understand? And the only enemy along this route is the Sentinel. Well, the only enemy that's worth it along this route is the Sentinel. I can never time that right. Versus enemies, you do want to go with this combination leading into the sweeping attack. Because, well, it hits all of the enemies involved. And there you see the back attack. So we got an explosion orb from him. Nowhere to really use that right now, but I'm appreciative of it nonetheless. stun doesn't last very long, but it doesn't need to. You see what I'm saying about spirit? It's not bad. Granted, I sat there and ate damage, but the weapon allows for it. Let's go ahead and heal up. As you may have seen, using spirit actually consumed my health. So you want to keep that in mind. If you're going to use it, make sure you're using it in a place where you're perfectly safe to follow it up with some healing, because you don't want to die for free. I didn't know you would become aware of me. Oh. There we go. There's a sucker that respawns every minute. And the boost to your physical damage from that lasts for 2 whole minutes. But, of course, you also don't get to use it ever again after that until you reach the statue, or a statue. Ow, unexpected. No, I don't think you will. I think that one hit me while I wasn't guarding. Do you see how useful the stun can be? It stacks up pretty quickly versus any enemy, that's a trash mob. I don't know. I would assume bosses would have a higher resistance, and thus it would take longer to actually stack on them. And the travel distance on that. I did not expect him to get that shot off. Unexpected. Let's fix your little red wagon. Whew. It's a little rough. I did not notice that I had not switched back. I appreciate you sending me all the way back here. I really do. Yeah, I figured she wouldn't be able to. Yeah, we'll go ahead and use the full healing. Although, just to be safe. And this guy's here. Ouch. Lucky I got the target on this guy. An important thing to note, the sweeping attack combo of this weapon's attack, the first hit can miss, even though the second hit tends to travel pretty far. You see? The first hit is a really shallow one, so if you're not right on top of the enemy, you're pretty much wasting stamina even using the attack. So just keep that in mind. So, that is the exhibition of all of the weapons that really matter. The Night Shield, I am pretty sure we showed off in the previous episode. It's a good weapon. Dark Arrow? Oh, one thing about Dark Arrow to note. The attack itself shoots out 5 projectiles. Now, I don't know exactly how the damage is applied across these projectiles. As you can see here, it shows that the damage the ability does is 1200 damage. I don't know if that much damage is split across the 5 projectiles that it shoots, or if each projectile does that damage. I've used this point blank against the Sentinel, the giant guy in the black armor. I've used it against him before. It's really nice because it puts him down that much faster. Problem is, the 1 minute cooldown is a bit of a turnoff. The weapon itself does pretty good damage. The dark and physical damage both combined, so you're dealing 500 and 23 damage with an 11% chance at critting. So there's that. Personally, my weapon of choice would be the Downcast Mace, which you can only make from the Soul of the Downcast, which was the, I think, first boss we actually fought. The Great Axe is another good one, but it's got its own issues, like a really low crit rate and terrible tracking on some of its attacks. Now, we have about 10 minutes left, and so we're going to spend it. Yeah, the other guys up there are aware. Dang it. And you get a sweep. May as well use this. I should be fine, right? We can intercept her here and not pull anyone else to our business. I still cannot craft. Also, to note, this chest I accidentally interacted with, I think it was yesterday. It contains a blue spirit of the dead. Just keep that in mind. that is just a really good weapon. Oh, whoa! Let's pull him down here just in case this thing does not go as planned. Woo! What do you think this is, buddy? Really? How did that miss? That actually hit me. This guy obviously deals dark damage, so if you have a weapon that grants you resistance to that, use that resistance. Ow! I blocked it. Blocked it again. Keep in mind that blocking will, if you're not using a shield, it'll consume, well, you're going to eat some damage to your health from it. Even if you have stamina. Really? The tracking on that is silly. Yeah, I figured that'd be the case. I want this guy dead. Oh, right. Sure, let's go ahead and see if the stagger from the dual grates actually works. Since our, not souls, memories, since the memory shards that we have, or had, dropped so close to the statue here, which, let's be honest, was a very good idea on my part. Wait. Oh, right. I also didn't tell you guys about my armor. I made the Sentinel armor. I also upgraded it 2 times. Upgrading pretty much any piece of equipment that you have is basically free. The resources it costs are negligible. It's 200 soul, well, 200 memory for the first upgrade and 300 for the second one. And it requires lesser upgrade shards, which you should have hundreds of by now. So it gives us really good special or physical defense and really nice poise. Well, it added like 200 poise, I think. Oh, one thing that's really important. If you're going to make Sentinel armor, make this one. The high Sentinel armor is actually worse, even though you would expect a high Sentinel to have better armor and resistances and poise and all that. But its stats are actually worse than this one. So to reiterate, make this armor, not the high Sentinel armor. Now, the stun, I'm taking these weapons because I'm hoping to see if the stun actually works on bosses and how effective it is or isn't. No, not stun, burst. The burst is not... it does not stack quickly, So it'll be a while before we actually see if it goes into effect. And it also depends on the boss's resistance, I would assume. So we have to account for that as well. Jeez. Also note that this particular weapon pair its attacks consist of large sweeping attacks. Gonna go ahead and just so you can attack enemies that are even behind you, which is really useful in the case of the evasive attack. I could create a flame sword, but I don't know if that's actually useful against the Breach Knight, whose armor we can make, and we just need his soul, I think, or memory. I'll just wait over here. Just little old me. Don't underestimate the value of that attack. I'm mildly worried about if we'll be able to actually beat this boss. I'm going to have to use the counter more often, or the parry, my mistake. How did that miss? Okay. So aggro. Ooh. I have yet to see proof that you can actually backstab large enemies. I think I blocked that one. I tried to parry. Great. If you're going to try and use your stun, make sure you have stamina to abuse this attack with, or this opening with. God dang. Those sweeping attacks make it difficult to judge. I have to assume that the burst will work on him since the ability itself does. Wrong weapon. Sucks that I'm going to have to be without this, without that ability for a little bit, but that's the way of things, I suppose. That's kind of annoying. It'd be bad news if I got knocked into that boss fight this early. I'm just really glad that my memory ended up that far down that I managed to get them before I died again. Because losing 10,000 would be terrible at this point. It'd be criminal, in fact. Thanks for stacking up, sucker. So yeah, I shouldn't have died there. I could have just used my healing and gotten away scot-free. But I didn't. Instead, I decided to be as sloppy as possible, and I died for it. We will beat this boss this video, even if I have to take some extra time to do it. I almost think she's satisfied being there. There's his back. Thankfully, while you're staggered like that, you can't actually take damage. No. I blocked it. So, this boss, let's check our stats. I don't think I can even look at my... Yeah, I can't even look at my equipment. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Need to lure him down here where I can see him easily. Oh, I got lucky there. I blocked it, but it cost me. Tried to go for the backstab. I may actually have to spend the healing for this fight because this guy gives you no breaks. Did I just eat 2 hits for free? Yeah. God dang it. One thing I will say, his sweeping attacks have pretty bad tracking, so they're not that difficult to evade, he says after getting bursted away. And wasted another parry. Great. Oh, gorgeous. Yeah. Ooh. He is not playing anymore. Oh, that does a shockwave. And free damage, and we're trapped in the corner now. Like I said, use them if you've got them. God dang it. There's 3 of those. Healing. Interrupted, naturally. Ow! Messed up my parry. I'm waiting for my healing over time. No, come on. I will admit the stagger is hugely advantageous, both from the weapon itself and from its ability, but the weapon is just not good enough. I like the Mace of Downcast, but it deals dark damage, which I have to assume the enemy actually has really good resistance against, so... I can't take the Night Shield. Perfect. But I have to be careful because I only get the one shot at using the ability. What? Great. We have to actually go back to the statue. There's no point in fighting those guys. The memory I would get from them would not actually be worth it. Wait. Where? What? Where are my 10,000 souls at? We had 10,000. Why do I not have 10,000 souls anymore? When did that happen? When did that happen? I never didn't pick any up. What happened to my... What happened to my freaking memory shards? I don't remember not picking them up ever. So how did I lose them? Great. It's 10,000 souls, or 10,000 memory lost for nothing. All of which was meant to go towards crafting assorted garbage, and now I can't do it. I mean, I know I sound upset, but I'm more just thinking about how much farming I'm going to have to do in this area to get all of that back. I'm a little annoyed at having lost all of those souls, and I don't even know how. I could have sworn I picked them up every single time before I died. Finally! One thing to note about this weapon is that its buff does not last if you switch weapons. It will cancel, so be careful of that. That's why I didn't switch to my healing over time once I had turned it on. I'm a little upset. I had pretty big plans for what I wanted to do with the 10,000 memory, but, well, that's just going to have to wait. Maybe we should use the... What? Great. Dang it, I forgot about that. Well, this would allow me to block pretty much any attack without taking damage. It's got a cooldown of 3 minutes. That is an eternity. Frankly, none of these weapons are very good. I have to be honest, none of them are actually as good versus a boss. So let's try Old Reliable. Gotta be careful about how we approach this. I haven't used this weapon in a while, so I'm not familiar with the timings for it. Probably better to start here. Okay. What? Come on, that was right on. Huh. Wonderful. And then I get hit by that, of course. And it's just that easy. After about, I think we've fought this guy maybe 10, probably around 11 times, we finally figured it out. He's not difficult, per se. He's got some really annoying attack patterns, especially the one where he jumps in the air and comes down and does an AoE around himself that then does 2 more follow-up impacts. If you're guarding, or if you just don't see it coming, it's going to build burst stacks on you and do a significant amount of damage. You just don't want that. Breach Knight's memory. On the edge of all that is familiar, nightmares manifest. The Breach Knight is but an imitation of a child's memory of a long-lost father, but shaped by Kerr's breath to herald the end of humanity. I really wish I hadn't lost 10,000 memory trying to get there. Or here, as it is. But apparently we don't go further, we can't go any further this way. We instead have to go back and start burning the thorns that we've come across. But instead of doing that, I'm going to end this video because I have had enough. Still nothing to say. I've been recording for about 2.5 hours now. It's at more accurately 2 hours to 21 minutes and 23 seconds. I think that's enough. And so I hope you guys have enjoyed yourselves and everything you've seen here. We will be back, of course, the day after tomorrow. Let's see, this is going up Tuesday, so Thursday. Dang, it's a shame. We only get three videos of this a week because Fuga starts or gets uploaded on Monday. Well, nevertheless, if you guys want to see more, just keep watching the videos and I will happily comply. If you don't want to have to check back every so often to figure out when a new video goes up, there are things you could do to make sure you're aware of when these videos go up as soon as they go up. But I'm not your father, so I'm not going to bother informing you any further past that. I'm sure you know what to do if you're interested. So with all that said, we will see you next time.